you would tell them that you are qualified for that, and then they would run that through there. So the money goes directly to your provider, and then you get $30 off your bill every month.
And what about your installation charge, that $500? Does that cover
I
that
think
as
that's
well?
just equipment.
That's, yeah, it doesn't cover the equipment, but you could go on like the $85 one with the
Yeah, at
zero.
that point, if you get
It would bring you down to the 55,
Yeah.
and after 20 months, you would drop to $20 or
Yeah.
25, whatever,
Yeah,
25.
that's great, yeah.
So that would be,
So let me clarify that free or reduced lunch. You do know that everybody gets free and reduced lunch.
yeah, I don't know how they're doing that right now, because everybody right now is on free and reduced lunch because of the
Well, free
pandemic.
lunch.
Is
It's
it
not even
Free
reduced,
lunch.
it's free. Yeah.
So I'm not really sure how they're going to qualify that, but you'd have to go on to the, I
You'd have to
posted the
find it.
link, I'll post it again. But,
I can read that part.
cool. Oh, on February 24th, Payson is already through the chambers, also started a business after hours meeting at the Manhattan in the evening.
Yeah.
Do you remember what time that was?
I just had that pulled up.
Anyway, he's going to talk to business owners about how to get more
5 to 7.
5 to 7 on the 24th at the Manhattan. He's just going to be a little business owners meeting, how to get more people in, marketing, all kinds of stuff to help business owners locally. So that'll be good. Okay, it is 2:00, so I'm going to take us out of the meeting of the regular Lincoln County Commissioners. We're going to go into planning and zoning hearing, and are we going to start with the hearing? Okay, I'm
Yes.
going to open the planning and zoning hearing today.
I'm gonna steal Mr. Hubert's desk
You
today.
may, good idea.
I have my computer. Richard will be joining us as well. I don't know if he was gonna do Zoom or if we just need to call him. But he
Okay.
is gonna be available at 2.
If you didn't set up a Zoom, it'll probably just be a call-in.
I don't
I'm
have the
assuming.
Zoom setup access, so.
Okay, did you bring me the rules?
Yes, I did.
Are you sure?
They're in here. I have my
Oh, okay, I'm
clipboard.
like,
Yes, sign in, and if you are testifying, please put Y for yes, and if not, M for no.
Need an M for maybe up here.
okay, thank you.
Can you call Richard? I don't have my phone.
All right, this meeting was posted, this public hearing in accordance with the Lincoln County Zoning Ordinance 2017-22-8, Chapter 11.1 through 11.4. Notice is hereby given that Lincoln County Board of Commissioners, acting in their capacity as planning and zoning, will hold a public hearing at the Lincoln County Courthouse, 111 West B Street, Shoshone ID, in the Annex Trailer Commissioners Room, Monday, February 14th at 2 p.m.
I'm calling you for the P&Z meeting. I'm going to put you on speakerphone here, okay?
Oh,
Sorry.
I had my phone off, so he was trying me.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, so this was published January 27th. To approve the minutes from December 20th, have our public hearing and work session. This is a conditional use permit for Nancy Lewis, 477 West, 470 North, Shoshone, Idaho. I'll let you go on to the rest of that. I'm going to read the rules of our public hearing. So the purpose of our public hearing is to give everyone an opportunity to offer their views and provide evidence in support of their views. This body of opinion and evidence creates a record upon which the decision makers rely for their findings and conclusions. Opinions expressed and evidence offered off the record cannot be accepted because they may impair the fairness of the decision-making process. To offer oral testimony, you will state your name, mailing address, and the organization you're representing, then present your testimony, and we do reserve the right to prohibit repetitive testimony. To ask a question, please signal the chairperson, that would be me, by raising your hand and wait to be recognized. The chairperson will explain the hearing procedures. We may ask questions at that time. Then a member of our county staff will present our introductory information. We may ask questions. Then we'll have a presentation by the applicant. We will ask questions. We can call for testimony in support of the proposal under that consideration, and we may ask questions. Then we'll call for testimony against the proposal and ask questions. Then we will give an opportunity for the persons in favor to reply to the points made by the people against and vice versa. And then we'll make a final call for questions and testimony. And I'll ask members of the audience if they want to ask any questions at that time. And then we'll announce the next step in our decision-making process. So at this time, I would ask that our P&Z administrator give us some background on this application.
Okay, so this is a conditional use permit for Nancy Lewis, 477 West, 470 North, Shoshone, Idaho, 83352, personal representative of the estate of Salem in Opal Carpenter. Parcel number, thank you. 05 South, 16 East, 122405A, located at 477 West, 470 North, Shoshone, Idaho. Legal description, tax 4 in the southwest southeast. 12516 is requesting a conditional use permit pursuant to Lincoln County Zoning Ordinance Chapter 4.13A for a land division resulting in less than 40 acres. And the residential division.
Yes, please.
Okay. So residential division, a conditional use permit may be granted without invoking the subdivision ordinance for a land division to separate an existing residence and associated improvements included but not limited to garages, shed, fences, ditches, driveways, or irrigation systems from the agricultural land. This exclusion limited to homes in existence as of the date of passage of the Lincoln County Zoning Ordinance 2012-10-1. The divided parcel may be no less than 1 acre and no greater than 5 acres in size unless there is a physical or geographic barrier which necessitates a larger size. Divided parcels must be contiguous to the farm land and there may be no more than 1 residential division per 40-acre tract. Pursuant to this section, the remainder land in the tract is not eligible for residential building permit. Subsequent subdivisions and other parcel created from the residential division is subject to all planning and zoning regulations.
All right, at this time I would ask for a presentation by the applicant. Please give us your name and address and
Why do you want to sit up here?
I didn't know if we were supposed to wear masks or not.
you're okay. Either way, it's up to you. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
All right. I'm Nancy Lewis. I am the executor of my father, Salem Lumber and Carpenter's will. We are asking for the request to divide the property as my parents wished. There'll be 3 acres division, and then the rest of it will go to my brother, Randy Carpenter. It will be maintained exactly like it is. The farming part of it, where they're going to do cattle or, agricultural. There's no subdivisions, nothing else changing. At a later date, we would like to put a garage on the house. And some new fencing. We need new barbed wire fence. But that's about it. It's just...
The select board has who's going to testify. That's why.
Okay, was there, the question was there any people that wrote in or called you or anything for or
Yes, they are
against?
present today.
Okay, all right. And let's see, how big approximately is the split?
It'll be a 3 and a
20.39, I think it is.
Okay.
a 3 and a 20.
A 3 and a 20, okay. And so your brother is gonna take the agricultural part, and you would have the housing part?
I would have the housing in 3 acres, and part of that 3 acres is in the agricultural that we're going to put cattle on.
All right, may I have the clipboard back, please? Okay. Is there anyone here to speak for the application?
Like, when we,
In support.
in support of the application.
Randy, you guys, you want me to move or come
No,
on?
you're fine. Just
Okay.
stand and tell us your name and
I'm Randy Carpenter, Randy Carpenter. But yeah, that's basically what we're gonna do is just leave it as is now and fix the fences and try to run some cattle on it and just keep the land improved just like it's supposed to be.
okay,
Got
thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions for Mr. Carpenter?
Are you planning on living on the property then, or do you currently live
Yes,
in
I
that?
currently live on it and I pay taxes on it. I got a mobile home on that. Well, I'm part of that property.
Okay, is it,
On the 20 side.
Yes.
so you live where?
This
Okay,
is a
this
3
is mine.
the house.
Okay,
And then Randy's
Randy.
is right here.
okay,
So that's where he lives. And all of this is all open on farmland.
okay.
And this is where the shop is and his driveway down to his place. And there's a
Yeah.
pond and a ditch here.
Who lives here then?
I do.
You do, okay,
Yes.
That's what Laverne Old Carpenter was looking at.
okay.
That's the family home.
Yes. And we plan on it staying in the family. It's not going to be sold, and when we pass on, it's going to be passed on to family.
Any other questions right now? Anyone else in support of the,
Sure.
go ahead.
David Lewis, Nancy's husband.
Okay,
We're just trying to basically fulfill Nancy's father's wishes that the entire plot of land stay in the family. Nancy and I recently retired from my position in Boise. We moved down here, and so we're occupying the main house and the 3 acres, I guess. And the rest of it just goes to Randy. I mean, that's it. We have
Okay.
there's going to be, nothing that really transpires other than the fact that it's legally done.
And we can
And,
pay taxes and
We can file our homestead exemption, and so on, and we'll just keep living there just like we do now.
Do each one of these properties have irrigation and a well on them?
mine has the well. It's in the will that the well, half of the well belongs to Randy. And Dad, you moved there, what, 19 years ago? And Dad took the well and actually piped it down to their house. So
So it's a shared well.
it's a shared
It's a shared
well,
well.
and it's in the will that he maintains half of the well, and I do.
How about water shares? Are there 3
What?
water shares going to your 3 acres?
Not at this point. We're going to do that. At this point, it's all in Dad's name, and in the will, it states that it goes to Randy because he didn't think it through. Thinking that our 3 acres would need water also, but
But
we'll
the plan
show it
is
and
to
we'll
get,
plan it. And,
alright, thank you.
Okay, anyone else in favor of the application that wants to speak? Is there anyone here opposed to the application that would like to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir?
Would you like me to come up there?
Yes, that'd be fine, right here. Good.
I'm going to address the dividing of the property. First of all, I'm sorry for your loss. I mean, I'm really sorry.
State your
Lost
name,
your dad.
please, sir.
My name's Steve Moore. My address is 503 West, 470 North. Wendy and I are there. That's Moore Farms. There's currently 80 acres under cultivation and hay right now.
Would that be this one?
That would be to the west.
Here, I'll show you this.
Oh, this is
This is Steve's here, and that's there's Steve's house right there.
And
Right
then
here.
and then to the north as well. There's
And then,
This is west.
okay, here we go. Oh, we're upside down. Okay, so this is there. Steve's house is here.
Oh, okay.
And then you own the one
Yeah, he owns everything.
up here as well, too, doesn't he?
yes.
Yeah, this one as well. So he
Okay.
owns, he's their
These
neighbor.
two.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Show me what you were just
Okay.
looking for.
Okay, so these two are Steve's, this is Steve's house right down here.
Gotcha.
And he has another house up here.
Yeah.
That's Gary.
Is there,
Here's the name.
is this Lake, isn't this Lake right here?
No, it's
No,
Oh,
that's
Gary.
no,
Van
that's Van
Ostrand.
Ostrand,
Van Ostrand.
Yeah, Van Ostrand.
So there's a piece in the
And there's-
middle.
And there's Van Ostrand's place
Okay.
here, and then there's farming too.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
And then, okay, where were we? So my objection is to the division, and the reason being, the first issue, the proposal for conditional use and land split by the above applicant is requesting splitting a parcel of land into two separate parcels, both of which will consist of less than 40 acres. The land in question is currently designated as A40. In the past, what has happened, the 23-acre parcel owned by Carpenters under consideration has been previously split from an original parcel. The original parcel of land was already been split 3 times, with those splits being sold off from the original deed. Now the objections to this is the proposed split, if granted under the conditional use permit, would create a parcel with surrounding land equivalent to residentially zoned property. The remaining land is already subject to a conditional use permit in the past and has a single wide mobile home with additions as a secondary residence. The parcel has been historically used for agriculture and there's an irrigation ditch that runs next to it. The land has been used for growing hay and grazing. Adjacent to the parcel subject for the conditional use consideration is land owned, farmed, and maintained by Steve and Wendy Moore. The land is also used agriculturally as farm ground and is directly affected by the use of the Carpenter parcel due to the proximity of fences, the community irrigation ditch pursuant to Lincoln County zoning ordinance recorded as instrument number 201464, section 9.2.4c. A variance as requested will be designated, constructed, operated, and maintained to be harmonious with existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and such as will not change the essential characteristics of the same area. Granting the conditional use permit would adversely affect the adjacent landowners. By allowing the proposed split, the small area will then become a site which will be maintained and held as solely residential parcel. This will obviously deviate from the intended historic use of the parcel as agriculture. The agriculture designation is supported by the zoning assignment of A40. If the intent of the applicant is for resale, this is a violation of the Lincoln County zoning ordinance section 9.3.1, wherein the ordinance of this allows granting a variance on the grounds of convenience of profit. Furthermore, by creating a residential parcel and ignoring the historical and agricultural zoning designation, disharmony with the adjacent landowners will result. Access to the irrigation ditches, enforcement of landowner ditch maintenance, and allocation of irrigation water will be at issue, as the Carpenter parcel has only one weir to correctly measure water flow from the ditch, with no means to measure water flow between the two proposed parcels. As a second parcel would not have a way to measure water, thereby creating potential conflicts with other users. The sheer change in the agriculture use of the existing parcel to a split comprised of a smaller parcel consistent with residential use will set up additional controversy of conflicting characterizations. The proposed split, if granted, is anticipated to create a hardship on the adjacent landowners in pursuing the continued employment and use of the agricultural land. The effective change to a parcel that will be solely as residential changes the characteristics of the surrounding parcels, as it will no longer be agriculture and would be used as a parcel that is contained within a residential subdivision or even a township. The change also is in violation of the letter and spirit of Lincoln County ordinance as cited above. In summary, the allowing of the proposed split will result in a situation comparable with trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. By splitting off a smaller parcel, a residential parcel would be created in the middle of an area surrounding the Carpenter parcel that is solely agriculture. This split would not be conducive to retaining the character use and value of the adjacent land contained within the area and would not be deemed desirable under section 4.3.1. This split was also require a zone change under 4.2.4, and wherein the surrounding lands are zoned A40, this variance does not meet the intent to preserve the use of the land as under 4.1.5 ordinance. There may be more than one residential division per 40-acre tract. Previous splits from the original parcel have occurred, and by allowing this split, the residence requires would be violated. And that's from Steve and Wendy Moore.
Thank you.
Okay, can I,
Nope. I'll get you though, I promise, okay? So the first thing before I open questions from the board on this is that if our administrator could please clarify that this is not a variance application and what application it is and the rules governing that, please.
Okay. This is a conditional use permit under chapter 4, under our zoning ordinance 4.
0.1.5, right?
3.1.3.A.
And would you read the pertinent, which is right on the front here, or pertinent information on that, what we're considering today, please?
Conditional use permit required. The purpose of this district,
It'd be 4.1.5, I think.
land division resulting in a parcel less than 40 acres, including residential or financial, as defined under 4.1.5 and 4.1.6. 4.1.5 residential division. A conditional use permit may be granted without invoking the subdivision ordinance for a land division to separate an existing residence and associated improvements, including but not limited to garages, sheds, fences, ditches, driveways, or irrigation system for the agricultural land. This exclusion limited to homes in existence as of the date of passage of the Lincoln County Zoning Ordinance 2012-10-1. The divided parcel must be no less than 1 acre and no greater than 5 acres in size, unless there is physical or geographic barriers which necessitates a larger size. Divided parcels must be continuous to the farmland, and there may be no more than 1 residential division per 40-acre tract. Pursuant to this section, the remainder land in the tract is not eligible for a residential building permit. Subsequent subdivision of either parcel created from a residential division is subject to all planning and zoning regulations.
Okay, the next question being is that what year was the parcel originally divided?
1997,
So it was before
2008.
2008 when our
Yes,
ordinance comes
our-
into effect for the divisions?
So original parcel, as defined in our zoning ordinance, is a defined parcel of land as of the date of adoption of the Lincoln County Zoning Ordinance 2012-8-1, adopted 1/15 of 2009.
Okay, so this was previous to 2008, so it doesn't fall under that. Okay, also, I just want to clarify what we're actually, the rules and laws, what we're actually looking at today. Commissioner, and I'll get to you just a minute. I have to
that's
ask the
fine.
board
No, that's
for
fine.
questions now. Commissioner Rutler, questions for Mr. Moore? Or from our administrator, either one.
So, Mr. Moore, are there fences and barriers and things in the way to prevent you from getting to the water and the irrigation water? Is that what you're,
There are gates that make it accessible to the ditch.
so you have access to it now to be able to go back and forth? Do you foresee any problem once, if this is split into the 3 acres, that you could not get to the water?
No, the access would be there. That's something that's been put forth by the state as far as being able to maintain the ditches and keeping the flow. But down the road, and this is obviously looking down the road, if and when something's sold, then it's going to change the dynamics of everything. And they just stated that they weren't going to sell, they were going to live there, which, you know, that's fine, that's their intentions. But those things always don't play out. What'll happen is, if something does sold, you'll be sitting there with a residential 3 acres, you'll get someone there that doesn't have any water, because they're going to let the water go with the other, and then all of a sudden they'll want to deliver the water out there, and that'll hinder the flow of my water, because they'll divert it at that head gate there.
Mm-hmm. But you said that the state the state is allowing you now to currently get to your irrigation water through gates. Is that what you just said too?
No, I have access to those ditches regardless of what's there, whether fences or gates.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you'll have access whether they
Yes.
own it or whether they sell it. You still have legal access to get to
Yes.
the water. Gotcha.
The big issue was the maintenance on the ditches. Who's gonna be responsible for the maintenance?
Owners.
Right. Linda, did you want to chime in? I see that you said that you would like to.
Oh, well,
Speak.
just in case there's any clarification needed,
Is there so far?
well, when this splits, I don't know if you're aware, but the 3-acre parcel will no longer be an ag as far as for taxing purposes.
Even though-
Because anything, 5 acres or less is not considered ag land. It's just for taxing purposes. I
Oh,
mean, if you want
okay.
to go ahead and grow hay on it, you can.
Okay,
You know, that's all good. And their neighbor Van Osten, as you can see, has a 5-acre piece where their house sits as well. So it's not like it's not anything that hasn't been done in the area. And I would suggest that at least 1 acre of water go, or 1 share of water go with the house, simply because in case something happens, even though say they will it to their kids and their kids don't want it and they sell it, at least they have the 1 water share on the land, which we did not ever want to have to dry. I know sometimes you guys like to have as many acres as water, so it's up to you, but I would suggest that that be a condition.
How many total water shares are on the 23-acre piece?
there's 23, there's more than that. How much? Let me see if I have that.
I do not remember.
The 1 share is like 23.9, and then there's another share also.
Surface water.
Yeah, the surface water also. So
I'm not too worried about that one, but there's full shares on the property.
yes, full
Okay.
shares.
Full shares.
And we have full intention of, we're gonna go over to Twin Falls and talk to them over there and divide some water for the 3 acres and Randy. But at this point, like I said, when Mom and Dad did that, they didn't take that into consideration or think about it. And
Would you like to respond to any of the points made by Mr. Moore?
yes,
Go ahead, it's your turn.
first of all, there is no way we're going to sell it. And that section of the 3 acres is still going to be farm ground. He's talking about having access to the weir. The weir is not on our property anyway.